Hello, fine poets. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Mrs. Feustel, and today we're going to learn about a particular type of poem called an ode. So your learning target, by the end of this lesson, you should be able to identify a lyrical poem called an ode, and this type of poetry is used to celebrate a particular subject with joy or thankfulness. Gotta love Snoopy. Definition: ode, a tribute, a poem that gives thanks or praise to a certain subject or item by addressing it directly, usually meant to be enjoyed. Boys and girls, we're going to take a few minutes just to listen to an ode called A Tiny Poem to the World, and it is by Kid President. Many of you have probably heard of him before, and we're going to listen to that now.
So big, and we're all so small. Sometimes it feels like we can't do anything at all. But the world can be better, in spite of its flaws. The world can be better, and you'll be the cause. And even though the waves are bigger than our boats, the wind keeps us sailing. Its love gives us hope. Some days it's dark, but we'll keep rolling. Because people like you whisper, keep going, keep going, keep going.
So let's take a closer look at that poem by Kid President. The world's so big and we're so small, sometimes it feels like we can't do anything at all. But the world can be better in spite of its flaws. The world can be better and you'll be the cause. And even though the waves are bigger than our boats, the wind keeps us sailing. Its love gives us hope. Some days it's dark, but we'll keep rowing because people like you whisper, keep going, keep going, keep going. There are many good examples of figurative language. This poem, it is titled A Tiny Poem to the World, and it has 9 lines in it. The figurative language, waves, the word waves represents troubles in our world. The poet uses sailing to talk about living life, and dark represents those hard times in life. And even though this poem talks about life sometimes being difficult and having troubles, the mood of the poem is hopeful and the tone is upbeat. And I think what he or she is trying to tell us is that we have to appreciate those times or have an appreciation for encouragement and the fact that we can keep rowing and keep going. And you'll notice the highlighted, the rhyme pattern, and those words are highlighted on the screen. So let's practice and work with odes just a little bit more. Teachers, if you want, you can use this slide for small group practice, and if you are at home learning, I would like you to get your reader's notebook out and a pencil and be ready to pause the video. So what you're going to do is you're going to read this poem, and remember, it's always a good idea to read a poem more than once, and I want you to answer the following questions. So follow these directions. What is the title? How many lines are in this poem? How many stanzas? What is the main idea? Now think about it this way. The main idea is, I know this because, is the poem written in first or third person? And then try to determine the rhyme scheme. If you're wanting to look at this poem a little closer, you can go to the Storyworks website by clicking on this link below, or looking in Storyworks, logging in, and typing in "Ode to My Shoes." So pause the video here, take some time to work with this poem, read it, analyze it, and think about it. Hopefully you had some time to look and read and practice understanding what an ode is, and understanding this poem called "Ode to My Shoes." Some things that I want you to think about. Tired in line 5 is an example of a human feeling the poet gives to shoes. I'm wondering, what else do the shoes do or feel that makes them seem human? What do the shoes dream about? Why do you think they dream that? Reread the last verse. How do you think the poet feels about his shoes, and why do you think that? An ode is a poem, remember, that expresses love or respect for someone or something. Why do you think the title of the poem is Ode to My Shoes? So, pause the video here, think about those lines, go back to the poem, and answer these questions. These questions will help you better understand the poem and express your thoughts about the poem. Strong work, poets. Hopefully you have some of the same or similar answers to this. What is the title? Of course, the title was Ode to My Shoes. How many lines are in the poem? 20. And there are 5 stanzas. And the main idea, if you look down here, the main idea of this poem is how the poet thinks about things that his shoes do and appreciates them. I know this because the author writes about how they rest all night and wake up cheerful and ready to take him places that he's already been. And the point of view is first person. I noticed the word my. And the rhyme pattern, A-B, is it A-B-A-B, A-B-C, A-B-B-A, etc.? Well, this text is written in free verse, and so it does not have a rhyme scheme. Well, we're coming to the conclusion of our lesson today on odes, and here is what I would like you to do. This is your assignment. I want you to read this poem to yourself. Then I want you to read the poem aloud to a parent or an adult. And then I want you to read the poem a third time using a different voice, maybe an opera voice, maybe a robot voice, maybe a southern voice. Just have fun with it. After you're done practicing that, because reading it 3 times will help with our fluency, and it's fun. I want you to determine how many lines are in this poem. What is your favorite line in this poem? And now I want you to write your own ode about something in nature in your writer's notebook. And pick that one thing in nature that you really love. Maybe it's a blue sky on a summer day, or a tree that's your favorite in your backyard. Maybe it's the snow, or there's so many things that you could write about. So have fun. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate your hard work, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.